Long ago, in a small village by the sea, there lived a humble fisherman. Day after day, he set out in his small boat, hoping to catch enough fish to feed his family. Yet his nets were empty most days, and he returned home with nothing. His wife and 3 children often went to bed hungry, relying on small fish he occasionally managed to catch. One particularly bleak day, the fisherman cast his line and felt a heavy tug. His heart raced with excitement as he reeled in his. But his excitement quickly turned to despair when he saw what he had caught. It was not a fish, but the carcass of a dead horse. What a terrible day, he muttered, throwing the carcass back into the water. Frustrated but determined, he cast his line again. He pulled up, and an old, tattered bag filled with bruised cups this time. Angrily, he tossed the bag back into the sea. "What use are these for me?" he lamented. "I need to sell fish, to buy food for my family." Feeling the weight of his misfortune, he tried one last time. With a heavy heart, he threw his line into the sea. When he pulled it up this time, he found an old grain jar. It looked ancient and was covered in grime. Curious, he decided to clean it. As he washed the jar, he discovered that it was made of gold. The inscriptions of the jar were in the language he couldn't read, but he knew it was valuable. Overjoyed, he exclaimed, "I can sell this and change our fortunes." He examined the jar closely and opened it, hoping to find more treasure. As soon as he did, white smoke billowed out, forming a massive giant right before his eyes. Terrified, the fisherman stepped back, his heart pounding in his chest. The giant looked down at him and spoke in a deep, booming voice. "You have freed me, fisherman, and for that I must kill you." "Why?" cried the fisherman. "What have I done to deserve this?" "You broke the seal on my present," the giant replied. "Now you must choose how you wish to die, by my hands or by being thrown into the sea." "But why must you kill me?" the fisherman pleaded, his voice trembling. "I was imprisoned by the king of giants for taking his daughter to the sea," the giant explained. "Enraged, he trapped me in this jar and threw me into the water with a curse. For centuries I waited, growing angrier by the day. Now I seek revenge on whoever releases me. You are that person." Thinking quickly, the fisherman said, "Before you kill me, answer one question. Were you really inside this tiny jar?" "Yes, I was," the giant replied, looking annoyed. "But you are enormous. How could you possibly fit inside such a small jar?" The giant, not very clever, said, "Watch and see." Transforming back into white smoke, he squeezed into the jar to demonstrate. Seizing his chance, the fisherman quickly sealed the jar tightly. "Ha! Now you are trapped again," he said triumphantly. "I will throw you back into the sea, and perhaps someone will find you. in another 300 years. No, let me out. I will make you rich, pleaded the giant, his voice echoing inside the jar. How can I trust you? The fisherman asked, his brow furrowed with suspicion. I promise I won't harm you. I will make you very wealthy. The fisherman thought for a moment, weighing his options. All right, then, he said cautiously, opening the jar. The white smoke emerged once more, and the giant appeared again. True to his word, the giant did not harm the fisherman. Instead, he guided him to a hidden sea beyond the mountains, filled with fish unlike any he had seen. The fisherman cast his net and quickly caught 3 beautiful fish, red, white, and gold. Take these to your king, said the giant. He will reward you handsomely. With that, the giant vanished, leaving behind a blue and gold smoke trail. The fisherman hurried to the king's palace, carrying the extraordinary fish. When the king saw the fish, he was astonished by their beauty and rarity. These are truly remarkable, the king said, his eyes gleaming excitedly. I will give you gold for them. The king's cook took the fish to the kitchen to prepare them for a grand feast. Blue and gold smoke filled the room as they began to cook, and a mysterious woman appeared. She spoke to the fish, saying, Fish, fish, are you content? Much to the cook's astonishment, the fish lifted their heads and replied, We are happy. The strange woman pushed the fish back into the fire and disappeared into the smoke. When the king and his servants entered the kitchen, they were baffled by the cook's story, entrapped by the magical fish. The king summoned the fisherman once more. Bring me 3 more fish, he commanded. The fisherman returned to the secret sea and caught 3 more fish, presenting them to the king. The king rewarded him with 3 even more gold. When the cook placed the fish over the fire this time, red and gold smoke filled the room, and the man with fairy red hair emerged. Fish, fish, are you content? He asked. The fish responded, We are happy. The man pushed the fish back into the fire and vanished into the red and gold smoke. The king, now certain that magic was involved, asked the fisherman to take him to the source of this extraordinary fish. The fisherman led the king and his men to the hidden sea over the mountain. They marveled at the jewel, like fish swimming in the blue and gold water there. The king explored further and discovered a grand house of red stone nestled among the hills. He found beautifully furnished rooms inside the house, but no sign of life. In one large room, a young man lay on the floor, his feet covered by coat. When will I die? I don't want to live, the young man muttered. The king approached and removed the coat, revealing that the young man's feet were made of fine white stone. What is this? The king exclaimed. Why do we have stone feet? Why do the fish talk? What is happening? The young man sighed and began to explain. This was once a great city. My father was the king, and I was a prince. When he died, I became king and married a beautiful woman. She did not love me. She loved a servant. When I discovered their affair, I fought with the servant and injured him, but he survived. My wife, furious and capable of magic, cursed me. She turned my feet to stone and transformed our city into 3 mountains in the sea. She turned the people into fish. The servant now lives in a small white stone house in the garden, unable to walk. My wife visits him every day. Even though the king went to the white stone house and found the servant inside, he killed the servant and disguised himself by pulling the servant's jacket over his face and laying on the bed. When the queen arrived, she asked, "Are you happy, my dearest servant?" "No," replied the disguised king. "I cannot sleep. The young king cries because of his stone feet." The queen hurried to the young king and threw magic water over his feet, restoring them. She returned to the house where the king continued his act. "I cannot sleep," he said, "because the people cry out at night, not wanting to be fish." Feeling the weight of the cries, the queen went to the blue and gold sea and recited a spell. The mountains and sea vanished, and the city was restored. The people returned to their human forms and rejoiced. Returning to the house, the queen asked, "Are you happy now, my dear servant?" "Yes, my love," said the king. "Still the quest. Come closer." As she approached, he pulled her near, and with the knife hidden in his head, he killed her. The king returned to the young man, saying, "Your queen is dead. The city and its people are restored." The young king, now free of his curse, was overjoyed. The 2 kings became allies, their cities flourishing together. As for the fisherman and his family, they were richly rewarded by the grateful kings. They received gold, beautiful clothes, and plenty of food. Never again did they go hungry. The fisherman's day of struggling were over, and his family lived in happiness and abundance. The tale of fisherman's encounter with the giant and the magical fish became legendary, passed down through generations as a story of cleverness, bravery, and the power of kindness. As so, the humble fisherman who once struggled to feed his family became a symbol of hope and resilience of his village and beyond.